Let's see if this works. Oop. It's working. I think it is. Anyways, hopefully this is working. What's up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for What We Trust, or I Trust. Is this on? Spooky. For What I Trust will be a fantastic, quick episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Whoops, shit. Trying to get stuff figured out here in the fan cave as, what's up, Ron? Hey, brother. Thank you for being here, Ron. Yeah, I'm getting set up for our show tomorrow at Michelle's Spooky Lounge, and just testing out some new mobile equipment, and wanted to jump on and make sure this stuff is working. And we can talk a little bit about the Raiders if anybody wants to talk about the Raiders. Hooligan Nation, what's up there, Hooligan? Good to see you, brother. Silver and Black today. Hey, Scott. What's up, bro? Oh my gosh, it's like the OGs in here, man. We got Ron, we got Scott, we got Hooligan. Jay Harris is in there. What's up, BAL 1861? Appreciate all of you, all 7 of you. Jay Morse, what's up, man? Shout out Silver and Black, or not Silver and Black today. Salt City Silver and Black. Anyways, buddy Murf here. Just wanted to do a quick mobile test because we want to get this stuff set up before we do our party at Michelle's tomorrow. And it's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about the Raiders, or not, but we're going to talk about them anyways. And of course, we're going to be in our costumes, and we're going to talk about scary movies. And we're going to, speaking of scary movies, I'm watching Scream 6 right now. I love Scream movies, man. I watch them back through them every year. And now I'm on number 6, and I can't wait for number 7 to come out in a couple of years. But anyways, so we're going to do the show tomorrow. So I wanted to test out what this new gear is like, and how it's going to work, and how it's going to sound, and how it's going to look. And so I hope it's good. Everybody says that it's pretty good in there. Appreciate you. Saints World Rock says it looks good and it sounds good. That's awesome, brother. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And so yeah, we're going to have fun tomorrow night. So one real quick thing though, it's been on my mind today, it's kind of been on my heart even, is that, man, I'm in the trenches. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in a damn blender when it comes, all the metaphors, when it comes to my fandom right now. I'm not a live in the past kind of guy, but with the passing of Carol Davis this week, with the passing of George Atkinson this week, like it's making me really miss even more. And I was kind of already heading this way last year. It was making me miss even more Oakland, and the spirit of Oakland, and the spirit of the Raiders, and the mystique of the Raiders, and the things that founded the Raiders, the things that built the Raiders, the things that defined the Raiders. And I just feel like we're moving further and further away from that. And I'm really trying to weigh out, is it because I'm a 52-year-old dude, and it just feels like that because those were things of my youth and they're no longer there, so therefore I long for them and miss for them and the relationships that were formed around them with my dad and my family and that kind of stuff? Or is it just the truth, man, that like it's just not the same anymore, and it's never going to be? And even if the Raiders started winning again, I don't know if that's ever, the spirit of that is ever going to come back. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And I need to pay attention to what the chat room would be talking about, what you guys have to say tomorrow night, because I'd be really curious to what you say about that. And I'm not a Vegas is bad kind of guy. Like, I like Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. I love the kitschiness of it. I love the strip. I love the shows. I love the food. I love the venues, the hotels, the casinos. I love it all. But I just there's something missing, man. And I don't know if we'll get it back unless the Raiders become an ultimate dominant year in, year out performing team. And I think that that's what's missing. I feel like they needed to, when they got to Vegas, start winning early to not only justify and build a local fan base, but also to get us other people that are out of town to travel. I've been to about 10 games at Allegiant, and I love Allegiant Stadium. It's a love letter to the Raiders. But we got a trip planned in January, and we were going to go out and see them play the Chiefs in the last game of the season. And now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to go to the game. Like, I'm losing interest in it. Not that I'll ever stop rooting for the Raiders. I will never stop loving the Raiders. It was always going to be a thing. It's just, who I am and who you are. It's what we are collectively as Raider Nation. And shout out Mimo on Twitter there, sent a really cool Twitter video, a little TikTok video about the Nomad gathering down in San Diego, and you just see the gathering of Raider Nation despite how the team is, and it's like, when we say La Familia, man, it's no joke, and when we see that, it's like, it means something. So that never leaves you, but in terms of like the active overall interest in the current product that's the Las Vegas Raiders, man, it's just waning for me. And that's just the reality of it. And I feel like that's a negative space, and I'm not a negative guy. And so that's hard. So that's hard for me to process as a fan. You know, it's like, you know, there are things in life that I, you know, identify as. I'm not into labels much, but it's like Christ follower, dad, husband, you know, nephew, brother, those types, you know, best friend, like those things, like, and then Raider fan is like right underneath all that stuff. And so to like not have interest in the Raiders to a certain extent is really weird. It's just really weird. So anyways, I'm just trying to work through all that, and here I am, it's like a confessional over here. But I say all that because I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm curious to what the chat room has to say. You know, how you guys are feeling on that. Like, do you share in that? Like, am I being a knucklehead? Am I being over dramatic? Like, you know, is it too much, or is it the truth? You know, Harris in there, J. Harris Turner says, we haven't had the Raiders we grew up with in a long time. I feel like that too, man. I feel like I'm missing it. Raider Paul's in there, appreciate you. JMETSVT says, we won't get back to it, the league is too soft. Now that's true too, man. The league is different, and I can be realistic around that too. Like, listen, the days of George the Hitman Atkinson, like literally putting a freaking elbow into Lynn Swan's nose and breaking his nose and giving him concussions, and, you know, Chuck Noll, their head coach at the time of the Pittsburgh Steelers, calling him the criminal element of the NFL. Like, you know, Phil Villapiano doing the can opener where he's raking people's helmets off. Like, I get it that we're never going to be back to that. We're never going to be to the helmet-to-helmet contact that we saw from Jack Tatum and like that. I get that. But there's just still like there could still be a nastiness in today's NFL. You can see it in some of the modern day defenses now. We see it in Max Crosby. You know, there's a clean version of it too. You know, where you can have that, you know, that dog in you. You can have that fire. You can have that nastiness in you, but still play within the rule set of the current, you know, version of the NFL. So anyways, I don't know if that's capable for an entire team, an entire 11 on defense or not. But anyways, that was just something I was thinking about. The other thing I'll say too, and the last thing I'll say is this too. And we're going to talk about this a lot more. We're going to expand on it tomorrow night and talk with Michelle and Jeff about this. And again, hear from you guys. Is that the identity of the Raiders? I don't know what that is right now. You know, I think AP did a very good job of establishing the identity, the building blocks of what it was to be the Raiders. Unfortunately, he wasn't a very good in-game head coach when it came to some other things. I think that John Gruden wanted to instill what it meant to be a Raider, the mystique of the Raiders. I think that he did a good job of that. Outside of that, we've had the Patriot way. Seemingly now we're getting the kind of the Seahawk way. Sorry if you can hear all the screaming in the background. I'm watching Scream 7. 6. Yeah, 6. 7's coming out soon. But anyways, so like, I think that we did have a couple of coaches that tried to honor that, but it's like these guys that come in and try to move away from what it is to be the Raiders. I would just love to see the Raiders be, I don't know, a high-powered offense with a badass offensive line, with a young quarterback that can sling it. Like, I would love to see that, and that does translate to the modern-day NFL. Al Davis football, stretch the field, does work in today's NFL because defenses have to be so much more lax. So I would just love to see that, man. I would just love to see us get back to a little bit the scrappiness on defense, the explosiveness on offense. I thought in that first quarter of that Patriots game, the Raiders against Patriots this year, I thought, holy crap, here we are. We're back. We saw Geno going downfield deep, some score early. I'm like, okay, here we are. This is the Raiders again. That was fleeting, man. It was over soon. So, anyways, appreciate you all. Let me shout chat room a little bit in here. Kyle Rader's in there. Hooligan is in there. He says, with the passing of every Raider legend, another nail in the coffin of the Oakland Raiders. Yeah, man, I agree with that 100%. And these legends, listen, man, these guys are getting older. Freddie Bolitnikoff is going to be 83 years old. this next year, man. Like, these guys are getting up there, and we all have an expiration date. And so, man, like, we're losing our connection to the building blocks, the foundation of what made the Raiders great, what built the Raiders' mystique. We are slowly losing that. This week was very evident of that, and that's sad, man. So, because it's like you lose a piece of what formed a lot of us, especially of us older folks, in our fandom of Raiders, for the Raiders. So, John Rodriguez, what time did we start? Man, I just started a couple minutes ago. We're just doing a quick little test here, just jumping in to check in with you guys and say hi and test some new equipment and kind of vent a little bit. I hate doing selfies, you guys know that, but I do love conversating, and I wanted to jump in and see what you guys had to say. Ron says, letdown after letdown. Every time we get something, it falls through. The organization is chewed up players, chewed up coaches, GMs. There's only one way out of this, and that's winning. Man, that winning cures all, right? And that's obviously the one ticket that can get us out of this is the winning. We need to figure out who we are, get back on track. Man, Corey flexes. I love him. I hate him. This all feels normal. Very much so. It's an abusive relationship, us and the Raiders, right? Let's see. Silver and Black Today's in there. What's up, Scott? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate so many good folks in there. Man, way more of you in there than I thought that I was going to see. Just to jump on and rap a little bit and chop it up about our Raiders. But anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Man, listen, we're going to talk about, the bye week. Thank goodness we didn't lose. And by lose, I mean we didn't trade Max Crosby. Jacoby Myers is still on the table. We'll see if he departs by Tuesday. I got a question for you guys. And if you want to call the show or send your emails, I'd love to hear them and see and hear what you have to say, and also in the chat room too. Do you believe all this stuff about Max? And I mean from either side. Do you believe when the media says there's interest there from other teams? Well, of course there is. Do you believe Max really wants to stay? Do you believe the Raiders really want to keep him? Or are those messages and setups to drive up value? I'm just asking the question. I'm not advocating, so don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not advocating for or against for them to trade him. I'm asking the question, do you think that those messages that are coming on the media that he wants to stay and the Raiders want to keep him, are those things there to drive up value? Because if he says, I want out of here, then you know that they're going to get a freaking lowball offer in order to get him out of there. If they said, you know what, if he wants to go, we'll trade him. Then that means that they're opening themselves up for a lowball offer. If both parties agree that the messaging is he wants to stay and we want to keep him, I don't not believe him. Max has got that silver and black tattooed on his body like a lot of us do. And I think that he wants to be a lifetime Raider. I don't know how long his patience will last for, though. And his contract was set up and built in order to be favorable for him to get traded. So I'm genuinely curious to how this thing is going to play out. If he's inactive on Sunday, we're going to know a lot because the trade deadline is Tuesday, and then we got a game on Thursday. So, even if they did trade a player for him, that guy's got to have 2 days to get ready for the game. So whoever they trade for, if there's a player involved, is not going to play. But then you got Jacoby Myers where this all started. I'm curious to see if Jacoby Myers gets traded before Tuesday, and again, if he's inactive for the game. So that's going to be real interesting. I think the writing's going to be on the wall for that on Sunday. But anyways, we're going to talk a lot about that. It's game against the Jaguars. They looked pretty freaking good there for a minute, and then they kind of laid down. But that's kind of Trevor Lawrence too. So we'll see how this thing goes. It's going to be a home game. Tell me if I'm wrong, Raider Nation. Please, somebody in there tell me. Was the last time we played the Jaguars at home, was that the last game in Oakland that we lost? Was that the one Derek Carr slid out of bounds, I think? I know it was Nachos on the field. I remember that for sure. And I do remember that was the last game in Oakland and we lost a heartbreaker. But anyways, I'm curious to see if we can, I don't know if we call it a revenge game or not, or an avenge game, but this will be really curious, man. I'll be really curious to see where this Raider team goes, how this team responds after the bye week. Doesn't seem that there are any changes that have been imparted on the team. So, yeah, I was kind of fully expecting like maybe a quarterback change maybe or something, or a trade, but nothing. No, nothing from Spy Tech? How about that? That's weird. I thought we'd get a John Spytek conference. We got more Reggie McKenzie press conferences during the season than we've gotten John Spytek press conferences at this point. And I thought he was going to be a kind of guy to come out and talk a lot when he first came on, but that's not the case. But anyways, so we got a lot to talk about tomorrow night. Thank you to all of those of you who jumped in. Thank you, Kyle Rader. Thank you, Corey Fleck. Thank you, Ron. Always jumping in there. Ron, man, Ron's just like freaking always there. Love Ron. Thank you. Thank you, Alfred Esparza. Thank you, BAL 1861. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Sanes World. Thank you, Hooligan, of course. Thank you, Ty Raider. What's up, Ty? What's up, brother? Anyways, appreciate all of you. And yeah, hope you have a good night. Happy Halloween. And we'll see you tomorrow.